everyone, and welcome back. So today we're going to continue on here in Final Fantasy XVI, like we have been for the past week-ish. Oh, what's here? Oh, it's a balcony. Convenient. Okay. Go ahead and get to auto.
What do we know, Otto?
Some lads from the Imperial garrison in Rosaria started a fight over at Martha's Rest. Blood was spilled, bones were broken. The usual. But somewhere in the middle of it all, Martha vanished without a word to anyone. And that ain't like her, Clive. Something's not right.
You think this was planned?
Of course it bloody was. Ever since Eastpool, the Empire's been tightening its grip round the Duchy's balls. They've strung up everyone who's ever set eyes on a runaway, claiming they're traitors to the Holy Throne, conspiring to restore the House of Rosfield to power. And now it sounds like the bastards have turned their attentions to the pallbearers meek enough to stay put. Naturally, old Martha could see the way the wind was blowing, complained that it was getting harder and harder to take bearers in.
And now she's missing. If she's fallen into the hands of the Empire, we could be next.
Couple of curse breakers are already on their way to the inn. They should speed up the search. But if this is as bad as I think it is, you might end up having to save their asses and all.
Okay. The Curse Breakers. A unit drawn from those of fighting age and martial training among the residents of the Hideaway, who conduct operations to liberate bearers from slavery. Beginning as a loose collection of like-minded individuals in Sid's Hideaway who chose to rid themselves of their bearer brands that they might serve the cause out in the field, the Order has greatly expanded both its ranks and its operations since the move to Benamir, all under Otto's watchful eye. The Purge of Eastpool. The Purge was a brutal attack on the Rosarian village of Eastpool in the year 873. Annabella de Sage, Holy Empress of Sembric and Vicereine of Rosaria, ordered that all bearers being harbored by the villagers be slaughtered, along with those ducal loyalists who had given them shelter. In the ensuing massacre, Eastpool's population was effectively decimated, and ultimately the village was abandoned.
Don't worry, Otto. I'll make sure everyone gets home safe.
Let's go to the quest first. Side quest.
Again! I seen schoolboys sweat harder.
Finish with open back, Sid.
Damn blighted
bilge.
Is everything all right?
Aside from the holes in my hull, everything's roses.
The lake water doesn't agree with it, then?
That's one way of putting it. And unless you got some grand scheme to suck the black from the lake like we do in the atrium, that slurry'll keep eating away at the timber like young Tech does our lemon tarts. Suppose a coat of pitch might stave off the rot for a moon or so. Assuming we had any pitch, which we don't. Not any bloody more. Doubt the old tub's got more than a dozen runs left in him.
Of course, Obolus. Your skiff is our only means of reaching the mainland. Without it, we'd be lost.
Well, I'm glad someone round here sees it that way. To make pitch, you need pitch trees. But in case you haven't noticed, live trees are one of the 1,000 things sorely lacking in the Deadlands. Now, I'm not so unkind as to ask you to fell a faraway forest and lug the logs back here to the mere, which is why we'll be needing a suitable alternative. And it just so happens I once heard the thorny pitchers of Curltail Falls cover themselves in a sticky wax to trap birds and beetles and whatnot. Might be enough to tide me over.
Sounds easier than felling a faraway forest. That's for certain.
Go ahead and do that. Because honestly, we do need this ship. Or to get to farther places. Go to 3 reads.
Easier than felling a forest, I said. Trees don't have teeth. I can't imagine Obolus needing any more than this. Time to head home.
Alright, let's get home.
Welcome back, Sid.
Well, did you find me some wax?
Find is one way of putting it.
Ugh! Reeks like a chocobo's arse. I don't suppose the Argo will mind as long as he stays above the waves.
Argo? So your boat has a name? I didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same as my old man. He was a ferryman himself back before the Blight came. The boat's all I have left of him. And thanks to you, he'll sail another day.
Okay. Go ahead and head to Martha's Rest.
What happened here?
Come on. We need to find the others.
We're best off staying where we are for now, I reckon.
Let's get you to a physical, shall we?
Sid? What said you'd be coming?
I trust you don't mind. Also thought you might need some help. And it appears he was right.
You, could say that, yes. They're saying the Imperials descended like a storm. No one was spared their fury. Martha tried to step in and calm things down, but all our efforts got her were a pair of iron shackles and a hard march.
Any idea where?
Judging by their tracks, they headed towards Sorrowwise Bay.
To the Abbey sheltering Martha's bearers.
The bastards. Jid and I will go after them. You take care of the people here.
We will. But, before you go, one of the locals heard something. He said the soldiers were talking about a culling. I don't know how big this is, but it doesn't sound good. Be careful out there, Sid.
You do the same.
Cole is right. That was no tavern brawl. It was a message.
But a culling. Bearers are the property of the Empire. The garrison wouldn't have the authority to act alone. The orders would have had to have come from higher up.
Alright, Cole. Second in command of the Curse Breakers, who assists the coordination of their troops' bearer liberating activities under the supervision of his captain, Doris. Formerly a slave soldier for the Fists of the Republic, before being freed and taken in by those he now calls his brothers and sisters in arms.
Give those horses a touch.
Look. Up ahead. Martha. Are you hurt?
Don't worry about me. It's them at the Abbey who need you. You have to do something. Tell us what happened.
What happened? The damn Black Shields, that's what happened.
The Black Shields?
The bastards caught wind. The abbot and I were helping. Bearers. They were gonna hang us both. When the sick rose from their beds. Poor souls turned on the Imperials. Distracted long enough for me to get away.
Then they may still be alive. Martha, do you think you can make it back to the inn? Cole is there with the other curse breakers.
I think so. Thank you, Clive.
Black shields. Is this some sort of twisted joke? There has only ever been one Order of Shields in Rosaria, and they fought to defend all her citizens.
It seems a step too far, even for the Empire.
This one. Over here! Get him! Go for it!
Are we too late?
There might still be someone inside.
No.
Damn it.
I thought you lot were all spent.
Murderers. They drove the bearers to this.
Wait. These two aren't turned.
That bitch of an innkeeper must have sent them. Colluding with the enemies of the Empire is a serious offense.
And for their crimes shall they be punished. Such is the law. To dwell in darkness that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn. On these our swords we swear.
How dare you speak those words? Have you no honor?
Clive.
This won't take long. Is that all of them?
I think so.
$25.
I didn't see the abbot. He may still be alive.
Found her.
The abbot.
The bearers died protecting him, calling upon what little magic they had left in their bodies.
Clive. He's breathing.
We're friends of Martha. We're here to help.
Are the Imperials dead?
They are. Every last one.
If only that were true. The Black Shields will return. The cullings will continue. Rosaria will never be saved unless we save her. Tell Martha to beg Cid's aid and tell her this wasn't her fault.
I shall.
Black Shields. An order of knights instituted by Empress Annabella in one of her first acts as vicereine of the newly established imperial province of Rosaria. They are tasked with purging the impurities from the province, which in practice primarily involves slaying bearers upon the slightest pretext.
Where are you?
In here! We found a survivor!
Clive. He's gone.
We've laid the abbot to rest. But the bearers... they didn't need to die like this.
No, they didn't. But it was their choice. They knew the fate that awaited them and chose to meet it on their terms, fighting for those who fought for them.
Martha said they rose from their beds, threw themselves at the Imperials so she and the abbot could escape.
I've gathered the bearers' remains. We should consign them to the tide.
There's a drawbridge not far from here. Radix Jump. The currents there are swift. If the abbot was still with us, he'd have taken the dust there himself and performed the casting. I'll get someone to...
I'll do it.
Of course. Cole and I will remain here and see to the Imperials.
Alright, let's go ahead and get ourselves where we need to go. What the fuck is that thing? Oh, fuck. Notorious marks. Every now and then, Clive may encounter creatures larger, faster, and more ferocious than most, while flight is always an option. Hitting these notorious marks can earn him not only renown, but also more rare materials that may be used to craft new gear or upgrade existing items. Ugh.
think it's spotted us, Torgal? What am I saying? Of course it has. It's a first eyeball. Nice try. Come on. This one.
Oh, come on.
Nice try. This one. Guess we're all ready. Get him. Over here. This one. Second. This one. Over here. Forgive me.
Shit. Fuck.
We're best off staying where we are for now, I reckon.
And they called themselves
Oi,
our
look
country.
sharp!
Alright. Let's try that fight again.
Thank you, Founder.
Give me one sec. Sorry about that. The wolf pup was outside my door.
There's no turning back. Too slow. Get him. Over here. Nice try. Get him. This one. Get him. Too slow. Nice try. Get him.
Over here! This one.
Nice try.
This one. Over here! This one. Over here! This one. Get him! Over here! Go for it! Go for it! Too slow. Get him! Go for it! This one. Go for it.
Nice try.
Get him. Go for it. Get him.
Hit.
This one. This one.
Needed that. Nice try.
Hit.
This one. Over here. Too slow. Over here. Get him.
Nice try.
There we go.
You didn't see that coming. Fetch!
Right. Let's head to where we need to be.
That must be the bridge.
Gather the remains here.
So shall the waters cleanse thee of thy burden, and bear it out to sea.
And now they are truly free.
I hope so. What of the Imperials?
A pyre was made. It's more than they deserve. We should go back. Cole is worried about Martha.
All right.
Travel to the obelisk.
We're best off staying where we are for now, I reckon.
No one survived then?
I'm sorry. Before he passed, one of them bade me tell you not to blame yourself.
Doesn't mean I won't. Doesn't mean their blood's not on my hands. Cole said you cast their remains. That was good of you. But it should have been me. This was all my fault.
How? You couldn't have known.
But I did. And I turned a deaf ear to the warnings like the fool I am. The rumors started moons ago. Of black-clad devils descending on villages in the dead of night to slit the throats of sleeping bearers. But I assumed it was all just nonsense concocted by the Empire. Nothing but a ghost story meant to make folk think twice about lending a hand to a fugitive bearer.
And in ordinary times you would have been right. What these Black Shields are doing is unthinkable. Which begs the question, why do it at all? My mother obviously has a hand in this. I cannot make sense of her actions.
And picking what goes on in that woman's head is a job for someone with more time on their hands. Right now, I need swords and men to wield them, preferably big ones. If those Imperials think they can come in here again and threaten my people, they're in for a rude awakening. Oh, before I forget, a Stolas from Otto landed just before you arrived. He asked me to tell you that Gav has returned.
Then we must as well. Will you be all right here, Martha?
We can stay longer if you wish.
No need. I'll be ready should the Imperials come calling. Though I wouldn't turn my nose up if you were to lend me a pair of them strapping young curse breakers.
Right. One sec. Sorry about that. Pup wanted out.
Now, where's Gav?
But none of the curse breakers have returned.
Ah, Clive! Oh, I've missed that scowl.
Where's my report?
What, no kind words for your old pal Gav?
If it's kind words you're after, you're fishing in the wrong barrel. Now sit down, you fool.
So, you remember how quick the Empire was to occupy the Dominion after the fall of Drake's Head?
Okay. Drake's Head. The mother crystal upon which whose wings did Sombrick ascend to geopolitical supremacy. It towered over the holy capital of Oriflamme. Its mighty silhouette, a testament to the power and permanence of the empire. And then, in the year 873, it fell at the hands of Cid the Outlaw. The original Cid. Not Clive as Cid. The Holy Emperor Sembrick. Sorry about that. A nation occupying the northeastern reaches of the continent of Storm. After suffering the ignominy of losing Drake's Head to an audacious assault by the outlaw Cid in 873, the Empire set its sights on the mother crystal of its nearest neighbor, the Crystalline Dominion. Sembrick's legions duly stormed the historically neutral territory and installed the imperial capital at Twinside. This brazen act of conquest sent shockwaves across Valisthea and heightened the already considerable tension between the Empire and the Dalmatian Republic. The Crystalline Domain, a once independent state straddling the continents of Storm and Ash. Its capital, Twinside, is built on the tiny Isles of Ark, from which its mother crystal, Drake's Tail, rises. After Drake's Head was destroyed in 873, the Holy Empire of Sembrick declared Twinside its new capital in defiance of the long-standing non-aggression treaty. While controversial, the move, carried out by Prince Neon and his Knights Dragoon, proceeded mostly unopposed, largely due to the domain's lack of a dominant its own with which to intimidate the interlopers. And now Drake's Tail. A mother crystal located in the Crystalline Dominion. It is one of 5 remaining in Valisthea and is the largest of its kind. Silhouetted by the setting sun, the islands of the Dominion spread out before it. The tail is truly a wonder to behold.
And how pissed off all the other nations were that they didn't think to do it first.
Half a century of independence gone at the whim of a madman. So much for their bloody treaty.
Clearly, the promise of unblighted land and the world's supply of crystals was too much for his radiance to resist. And now the Republic's finally decided to follow suit, using liberation as an excuse to declare war on Sambrick. Lined up right outside the Dominion's gates as we speak, looking to starve the Imperials into submission.
And now all eyes are on the Strait of Author.
While the two nations beat their shields, the rest sharpen their daggers, ready to set upon the war-weary victor. They'll never see us coming. It's time we moved on the mother crystals.
Oh boy.
4 mother crystals remain in Storm and Ash. Drake's Breath near Ironhome. Drake's Fang in Dalmechia. Drake's Spine in Waloed. And Drake's Tail here in the Crystalline Dominion.
With the bulk of the Republican army marching to Twinside, Drake's fang will be left exposed.
That is exactly the move Kupka would anticipate. And if there is anything these past 5 years have taught us, is that he loves his traps. There is one place, however, where nobody will be expecting us to go.
Drake's breath.
There's a shitload of sea between us and it, and I've never been much of a swimmer.
I have an acquaintance in Port Isolde who may be able to help.
Who's that then?
My uncle, Byron Rosfield.
Lord Byron Rosfield of the Seven High Houses, the trade magnate with holdings in over 100 cities. Wait, Rosfield. And you're a Rosfield, of course.
My uncle's name gave him his start in the world, but it was his acumen which earned him his fortune, along with a handsome fleet of ships.
Well, it's settled then. What are we waiting for, eh? Huh?
So we're meeting more of the Rosfield family. Google. Yay, we have a hot board!
What are we waiting for, indeed?
I hear there's trouble in Rosaria.
Alright. Hawk's Cry Cliff. From these heathered highlands, one might catch a glimpse of Rosalith Castle and everything else in between.
Do you think it was wise to leave, Gav? He didn't seem pleased.
I needed his eyes and nose in Dhalmekia. I'm not about to let Kupka take us unawares. Besides, he has a knack for that sort of thing.
That he does.
1 second.
Wasn't it?
Sorry about that, but while we are on this pause, thing. Alright. Let's go to Gav. He continues to put his legendary nodes to work in service of the Hideaway, the information he brings back from his expeditions proving invaluable for the Cursebreakers in their efforts to save bearers from servitude. Though he lost an eye during Hugo Kupka's attack on the old Hideaway, his scouting senses remain undimmed. Sid. His plan to create a world where bears and dominant could die on their own terms meant destroying the mother crystals, an act of blasphemy that would see him forever denounced as an outlaw. It was during their mission to fell Drake's head in 873 that Sidolphus Telamon lost his life to a beast from the beyond, passing the title Sid the Outlaw onto his protege Clive. Dominant. Those within whom sleeps the power of an icon. Though they look and think no differently to any other man or woman, they can not only cast elemental magics without a crystal, but also transform themselves into beasts of world-shattering strength at any moment. There is only ever one dominant for each icon. A new dominant only awakening after a previous dies. Some awaken at birth, while others are chosen later in life. But once one is chosen, one's life changes forever.
The matters such as these are best left to dominants, especially should one of his beloved opportunities to grow and change present itself.
What's wrong with Torgal?
I always knew that I would return one day. Return to Ironhome.
For what?
After learning the truth, you were given the chance to face your past. If I am to continue at your side, I must do the same.
We will face it together then.
To the end.
Come on.
Bloodlines. The 7 high houses. The highest noble houses of old Rosaria, of which House Rosfield is the first and foremost. They have their roots in the ruling dynasties of the small independent nations that were united upon the founding of the duchy. The houses had a prominent voice in ducal politics. This was silenced when the region fell to the Empire and Empress Annabella took Rosaria's reins.
How far do you think your mother's reach extends? Will we find the same tragedy in the south as did at Martha's Rest?
More than likely. Which is why we should hurry. There are still many settlements between here and Port Isolde. We visit as many as we can and hear their stories. Starting with the village of Amber.
So that's why we're
not alone.
Are going on foot. This way.
Mockery of justice is what it is. Lord Elwyn would never have stood for this.
Quiet, you! Nothing, we're loyalists.
Jill, look.
Rosaria must be cleansed of the stain which befouls her, that she might rise once again from the ashes to welcome a new dawn. 'Twould be a pity to make examples of you all for the transgressions of but a handful.
Of course, your lordship. You shall have our full cooperation.
What business could the Black Shields have in a village this small? There's barely room to hide a bearer.
Then they must be here for something else.
You fancy dancing a gallows jig like the miller's son?
All right, I heard you the first time.
Excuse me, but what was all that about earlier?
You haven't heard? Someone's been stirring up trouble. There have been attacks on the garrison, supplies stolen. They even say a Black Shield was murdered. The Empire wants answers, and what the Empire wants, the Empire gets.
Don't they just?
Keep your ears open, eh? The Black Shields will pay good coin for information on the culprits.
I heard about us.
You have to be dull as a sack of stones to think you could take on the Empire. What with their 100 full legions?
100? I heard it.
1,000. You seen him, didn't you?
I'm sorry.
The Black Shields. Just now. You seen them, didn't you? At least I think they was Black Shields. Can't say I ever saw one before.
Was this the first time they visited the village?
What do you think? Amber's the arse end of nowhere. And they thought we might be harboring firebrands. Huh. If only we were. I might have turned them in and become a Black Shield myself.
You don't think these firebrands the Empire is looking for could be us, do you?
I don't know.
Alright, Amber. A sleepy settlement nestled amongst the lofty peaks of southern Rosaria, located far from the capital. Its people survive by trading what produce they can coax from the stony soil and what little else they can gather from the surrounding hills.
But we need to find out. Greetings, friend. We are travelers.
I know that. What do you want?
We couldn't help noticing those Imperial soldiers who were here earlier.
Don't you go telling these strangers a thing. I speak for the people of this village, and we have nothing more to say to you. You are to leave Amber and never come back.
May I at least ask why?
I don't know who you are or what brings you here, but your presence puts us all in grave danger. The Empire is a harsh master. Its demands are great, and its justice swift. But as long as we keep our heads down and pay our tributes, we are left alone. Some might call it submission. But if it will spare my people the Viceroy's wrath, then I will gladly submit. This village will not become another Eastpool.
Then we shall be on our way. These people live with a knife to their throats. In the mistaken belief that if they cooperate, my mother will show them mercy.
Obedience bought with fear.
Are you all right?
Sorry, It's nothing. We still do.
Device Regency. The Imperial Province, incorporating the lands that were once Rosaria, ruled over by Annabella, former Duchess of Rosaria. One of her first acts as Vicereine was to institute a new order of knights, the Black Shields, who were dispatched to every corner of the province to maintain order. They would later come to serve as her personal army, settling her grievances against bearers and local loyalists.
Know who the Black Shields are looking for?
Well, whoever they are, the Imperials deem them worth pursuing to the back of beyond. But other than Martha, who else in Rosaria would have the courage to stand against the Empire? A new ally would certainly be welcome. Can we find them before the Imperials do? Perhaps the next village will yield more answers.
Perhaps.
This pass will take us through the mountains.
And directly into the path of whoever or whatever lurks here.
But we don't really have any options. Do.
Ever since the apology, we've seen more of these echoes.
What do you think is waking? The mother crystals collapsed?
I have an idea. You're not going to like it.
Get him! Stay down!
Black Shield.
More of my mother's men.
Or fallen.
This one. Get him.
Over here.
This one.
Okay. There isn't anything new, really. Or black shields.
Bow to your betters.
Nice try. This one. This one.
Okay.
Blood, Clive.
And still wet.
You were told to stay in your homes.
The Black Shields.
You know who we are. And still, you would bear your steel. Why then, we owe you our thanks. You have saved us the trouble of an interrogation. To dwell in darkness, that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn. On these, our swords we swear.
Say that again. I'll show you a true shield of Rosaria. Get him! Get him! Sick him! This one. Over here. This one just take. Over here. Sick him. Over here. This one. This one. Farewell.
All right.
Tell me what I want and the end will be swift. Who are you looking for?
Why, you. We come bearing a message. Your friends have been found. The branded you freed from our camps. They await you in Ordeal. Guardians of the Flame.
Those are Old Hill's gates.
Then we hurry. Find something, boy. Death.
Found her.
Oh shit. All of them were bearers.
This was my mother.
Pullings. After being made vicereine of the newly annexed Rosarian territory, the Empress Annabella quickly established a host of loyal Imperial soldiers, the Black Shields, to maintain order. Though branded as keepers of the peace, their true purpose is to carry out what has come to be known as cullings, or brutal massacres of pencil bearers, those who show them sympathy. The killing is swift and indiscriminate, with the shields dispatched serving as judge, jury, and executioner, and the chaos left in their wake is usually enough to deliver entire settlements to ruin.
But why? Why would anyone...
I don't know. I never truly understood her. But this...
Clive.
I will learn what madness drives her, and I will end it. We should go.
Yes.
We can't leave them here like this.
We won't. But if the Black Shields have made it this far south, they may already be in Port Isolde.
We're approaching Buick Bridge. Though I doubt the Empire would let us cross over to Rosalith.
I did, Mummy. I could hear him shouting from down the road.
They're all Rosarian.
But this is their home.
They don't attack us. We don't attack them.
The Lazarus. What happened to this place?
My mother happened. The nobles who lived here didn't stand a chance. Let's hope my uncle fared better. That's the main gate. And it looks like we're not the only ones hoping to get in.
Let us pass! My children are starving! Have mercy! Voice for the dogs they are! You can't ignore us forever!
Let us in, or we'll die on your doorstep!
Better out there than in here!
Oh, enough
Fuck off!
Hang it, chinless bastards! Those crystals belong to us all!
I said, where were you, filth? Back to your stalls! Cut you down where you stand!
Destroy it!
No chance of slipping through unnoticed. We'll need to find another way in. I thought we might be able to reason with the guards. Or at least bribe them.
I suspect everyone in that crowd thought the same. Was that the only way in?
Officially, yes. Strictly speaking, no. My uncle...
Okay. The port. Isolde. Or however it's pronounced. A port city situated on the southwestern coast of the imperial province of Rosaria. Only Rosalith rivals it for size, and in the glory days of Archduke Elwin's reign, its streets bustled with traders from across Valisthea. Sadly, those days are long since gone, and Sambrique's operation has seen everything, from marketplaces to military institutions, subverted to the will of the Empire.
It's told me that the nobles had tunnels built, so that they could visit town without having to walk amongst the rabble. But Lazarus... We'll find our way into the city there.
If you're sure. The entire place looked abandoned. Do you think it's safe?
As long as it is abandoned.
Black light burns.
The good news is we haven't seen a single black shield since Old Hill.
Maybe they found who they were looking for.
Just pick up that.
Very well.
Attack! Go for it! Attack! All yours, Torgal.
This is nothing like I remember it.
How quickly a crown can lose its luster.
Not abandoned then.
Oi! Visitors!
Apologies. We'll show ourselves out. Or not.
Torgal, kill! Over here! Go for Attack! Over here! This way!
Nice try.
Get him! Over here! Sick him! All yours, Torgal!
Alright, come on. Enemies bested.
I've only ever seen one man fight like that. And he's long dead.
Then perhaps it's time you joined him.
The blessing of the Phoenix. It can't be. I was there when you died.
Oh my god, it's him! The Lazarus District. An exclusive walled residential area situated just outside the eastern edge of Port Alloyd. I think that's how it's pronounced. I don't know. It was once the jewel in the city's crown and home to many of the nobles of the duchy. However, after the Empire moved its capital to the Crystalline Dominion, Port Alloyd was all but abandoned, and this once grand district was soon overrun with thieves and cutthroats. And Byron Rosfield, younger brother of the late Archduke Elwin and warden of the port, a thriving trading port in the south of Rosaria. Byron inherited a small fortune from his noble family, which he built into a large one by virtue of his mercantile wiles and adventurous spirit. There is not a trading house nor a tap house in Valencia and beyond that does not have a tale to tell of Lord Byron Rosfield.
Forgive me, my lord. I knew not whom I addressed. You have naught to fear from us. Founder, it really is you.
It is. So wait.
We can speak inside.
And those who wouldn't bend the knee?
We left before the Empire could make examples of us, though we didn't go far.
Sir Wade, a loyal shield of Rosaria, chosen by Lord Commander Rodney Murdoch to accompany Clive on his expedition to Stillwind. Though he did all he could to return the favor that he owed to Joshua for saving his life as a boy during the attack on Phoenix Gate, Wade was to meet the same fate as the prince.
And we banded together to form the Guardians of the Flame soon after. Alas, there is only so much a handful of aging shields can do against the might of an empire. But we've seen to it that their stay has been anything but pleasant. Of late, though, we've had our hands full just trying to keep the Duchy's few remaining bearers out of the Imperial's clutches.
The Cullings. We saw what happened in Old Hill.
Aye, the foul work of the Black Shields and their mistress.
You mean my mother? But it doesn't make sense. Even knowing what I know about her. Her hatred for bearers was no secret, but she wouldn't have been ignorant of their value to the realm.
No offense, my lord. But in case you haven't noticed, the Lady Annabella couldn't care less about the realm. She barely even cares for her own home. That much has been plain since the slaughter at Eastpool. And, since granting the Holy Emperor a new heir, her obsession with bearers only seems to have grown. As to why, I don't know. Maybe she can't bear the thought of anyone having the power to challenge her beloved son.
Her son.
Sir Wade, the Black Shields have broken camp. They march in full force for Buick Bridge.
Then so do we.
Make ready.
This is their main host. If we remove the head, perhaps we can prevent what happened at the docks from happening somewhere else. If I do nothing, then the blood of their next victims will be on my hands.
Yours and ours. We too have witnessed the crimes these men who dare call themselves shields have committed in my mother's name. It cannot be allowed to continue. We must put a stop to this madness.
We must. so let us go with you. For the good of Rosaria.
I was hoping you'd say that. Very well. If that is your wish, I would be honored to serve at your side.
And we at yours.
So, Wade, let us do our duty.
With pleasure, my lord.
I imagine this endeavor will require more than just our wits.
Then let's hope Sir Wade has a good quartermaster.
Allow me to tend to your needs, my lord.
Okay. Ooh, elixirs. Okay. That is overpriced.
Of course, my lord.
Fuck it.
Will that be all?
Um...
I will be here should you need aught else.
Tell us then, Sir Wade. What is your plan?
Nothing fancy. You, Lady Jill and I make for Buett Bridge and provoke the main host at their encampment. Sensing an opportunity to end the Guardians, the Black Shields will call for reinforcements, who will be met from the rear by parties of my brothers hidden throughout the surrounding hills. This will allow us to wage battle on the bridge without fear of being overwhelmed. While the Black Shields have an advantage in numbers, you see, they prefer to fight in small units, which we can use to our advantage.
How small exactly?
Small enough, now that I have you and Lady Jill for company. I doubt I could have done this on my own.
But until we arrived, that was your plan. You haven't changed a bit.
So Wade, the bearers from Old Hill have been laid to rest.
Very good. Now make ready for battle.
As you command.
Thank you, Sir Wade. Perhaps now they will find peace.
There is but one thing which will grant them peace. Putting an end to the Black Shields.
And so we shall.
Throughout the main scenario, Clive will often be joined by various companions who are keen to lend their assistance. However, depending on Clive's destination, they may choose to remain behind at the hideaway. Alright. Let's get going.
May the blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
How long have you been pursuing the Black Shields?
Since they burned their first village. We tracked down the bastards responsible and fed their corpses to Stillwind. Suffice to say, that got their attention. It's been a game of cat and mouse ever since.
Look at me sideways.
Go along now.
Bastards are lucky I get.
Alright.
There they are. On your command, my lord.
What is it now? I told you!
We bear a message for the Vicereine. From the Guardians of the Flame. Ha! You presume to tell us that a pair of filthy vagabonds, a woman and a dog, could guard aught against the might of the Black Shields? Then come! Die along with your flame! For Azaria!
For Azaria!
Your petty revolution ends here. On these our swords we swear.
This one.
Over here!
Bloody hell! Reinforcements from the far bank!
Another wyvern to fight their battle for them. This one. Guess we're all ready.
Over here!
More dragons.
Worms. The Imperials aren't taking any chances. I can't
This one.
Get
Fuck. I needed that. This one.
over here!
This one. Come on.
Oh, fuck.
A noble stand, albeit a misguided one. In taking it, you have but proven our point. That this land is in dire need of cleansing.
Bogle, kill!
Guess we're all ready.
Damn.
This one.
Over here!
Get him!
I can't go on.
You're telling me that's the Archduke's son?
In the flesh. Saw him once when I was your age.
Allow me to tend to your needs, my lord.
Okay, so I have
It has
everything.
been an honor.
Let me just go back a second. Probably shouldn't have used what I just did.
You're telling me that's the Archduke's son?
Alright, let's do that. And one of these.
In the flesh. Saw him once.
You are welcome to what little we have managed to salvage. As you wish, my lord. Will that be all?
Alright.
May the blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
Let's do this shit.
Look at me sideways. That was the Black Shield.
Come along now.
The bastards are looking at it.
Thing as we've already had this combo.
Your petty revolution ends here. On these our swords we swear. This one. Get him. This one. Get him. It's over. This one.
Bloody hell! Reinforcements from the far bank!
Another wyvern to fight their battles for them.
This one. Get him. This one. Over here. Over here. This one. Over here.
More dragons.
Worms. The Imperials aren't taking any chances. I can't be flattered.
Get him. This one. Get him. Get him. This one. Get him.
slow. To me, Flames! Get him! Kill! This one. Over here!
A noble stand, albeit a misguided one. In taking it, you have but proven our point, that this land is in dire need of cleansing.
Fine hound.
Wait, come on.
Let's try.
Shit.
There's no one left to keep them occupied. We need to finish this.
You mean finish him?
Nice try.
All right!
This.
Alright.
I don't see any more.
Nor do I. The plan worked.
It did. It bloody worked. We sent every last one of the rotten bastards straight to the mud. Lord, perhaps this will be enough to stop the Cullings. For the time being, at least.
Perhaps. Though I doubt my mother will take this loss well. She'll move swiftly to see her minions' ranks replenished.
And then it will all begin again. I often wonder if the nation we once knew is gone for good. Her fields rot. Her people starve. We battled to preserve the flame that was, but for every foe we fell, another springs up in its place. Yet be that as it may, it is still our home, and we must fight for it. As we always have, and always will. For as long as the Firebird's flame burns in our hearts, the Duchy cannot die. And her loyal subjects may dream of a day when the Rosarian standard flies over Rosalith once more.
So wait,
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison sends reinforcements? A sound strategy, my lord.
And how long has my uncle been funding you and your comrades' endeavors?
Since the beginning. Lord Byron was the first person I turned to after forming the Guardians. And had I known of this tunnel back then, I wouldn't almost have been hanged by the city guard for trying to sneak over the wall.
I suppose a formal request for an audience would have appeared suspicious.
And appearances must be maintained. Were the Vice-Regency to catch wind of Lord Byron's involvement in our movement, they'd seize his estate and send him to the gallows, where he would be of no use to anyone. And so, though it sickens him to the soul, he plays the part of the loyal lord, knowing that one wrong move might prove his downfall. It is why he remains ever vigilant. Don't be surprised if he refuses you an audience, especially since you're famously dead.
Then I will have to think of a way to prove that I am neither wraith nor wrongdoer.
I might have something which could help with the latter. It's the mark of the Guardians. Display it and those...
Alright, so we do have some information. The Guardians of the Flame. A clandestine group of ducal loyalists who lead the rebellion against the imperial occupation of Rosaria and Empress Annabella. Many of their numbers are drawn from those who survived the imperial attack on Phoenix Gate in the year 860, who know full well the Empire's involvement in the Duchy's fall. They make their home in the abandoned Lazarus district outside Port from where they conduct their raids to free bearers from the imperial yoke. And Sir Wade, though he was thought to have died during the attack on Phoenix Gate, hold on, sorry about that, he somehow survived not only the disaster, but the imperial conquest that followed. He and other like-minded shields took up residence in the abandoned Lazarus and formed the Guardians of the Flame, brothers in arms who fight for the restoration of the Duchy.
Area will know where your loyalties lie.
I shall wear it with pride.
Be sure that you do. I don't want my men attacking you again. Unless you deserve it. If only Sir Tyler could have been here to see you. Or the Lord Commander.
Thank you, Sir Wade. If there is ever anything you need.
I know. Go on now, my lord.
How accommodating. Do you really think they believe we are who we say we are?
Not a chance. Right, I guess. My uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Imagine my surprise when I was...
So that's what he looks like. Younger brother of the late Archduke Elwyn and Warden of the Port. After the duchy was incorporated into the Empire and Byron stripped of his titles, he shut himself away in his manor and gladly volunteered every gil of his taxes and terror with which he was newly burdened, all to avoid drawing the Empire's ire and to keep their attentions from his support for the Guardians of the Flame.
Told my nephew had come to visit. Clive Rosfield died long ago. And for uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue! You would mock me as well?
It is I, Sir Crandall of...
Oh my god, what the fuck is he trying to pull?
Camelot, loyal servant to her serene holiness, Saint Sybil, the Unshod. Meadow, thou vile sorcerer.
The fuck is he trying to pull? What the fuck?
I shall have thy head.
Nice. He's a jock.
Infectious flax wench, even in death, must thou plague me still? Very well. I shall open the gates of hell, that thou might see thy charge once.
He's crying.
Bravo, Uncle. You're still the finest Maddo in the twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really you. You always were fond of that scene from The Saint and the Sanctuary. Never did let me play Sir Crandall.
I have a favor to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle...
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your miraculous preservation on an empty stomach. Go on, sit. See that you use the good plates, Rutherford. So you arrived late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Vicereine, Annabella has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know, but the woman we knew is gone, and a monster sits in her place.
A monster.
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. That's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
So he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. Our nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive. The nation your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more. Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. All right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have. I've a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo. She can be outfitted for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us then? About everything?
Believe you? Ha! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim. But until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. And besides, I have it on good authority that Clive is telling the truth.
Whose authority?
Your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
Let's say no more about it, eh? It wouldn't do to linger on my nephew's greatest failing. The one thing I cannot believe, though, is all this about you being Sid. You were always such a good boy, but now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Right then, who shall we pillage first? Rutherford, fetch me my cutlass. This will be fun.
Oh boy. Okay, let's do Rutherford first. Manservant to Lord Byron Rosfield. His daily duties touch all aspects of running his master's manor, whether that be by the welcoming of guests, the preparation of meals, or the polishing of the intrepid nobleman's trophy collection. Then we've got Drake's Breath. It's located on the volcanic isle known to the Ironblood as Bain Leodlad, in the seas between Rosaria and the Iron Kingdom. Though its occupation can historically be traced to the duchy, control of the crystal was recently wrested from Rosaria's grasp by the Crusade following a series of bitter conflicts.
Over there. Go on.
She's a fine ship, isn't she?
Once outfitted, she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustinus in the space of 3 days.
Something on your mind?
monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that the lash would not move me, they turned it on those who could. And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung the sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. And before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Jill.
I don't want to be a monster, Clive. Do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. But before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Thank you, Clive. I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me you'll die with it. Now, let's get some sleep. The journey back to Benamir is long, and there is much to tell the others.
Few are the days when the air about the city's piers is not alive with the barks of busy stevedore, loading and unloading vessels hailing from all corners of the realm and beyond. So that is the tale. But was it the breath?
Only the Founder knows what awaits us in the Iron Kingdom.
Yes, the
But
breath.
Vivian could probably make an educated guess. I didn't take you for a scholarly van.
Oh, this? Well, it's Valisthea, a culinary pilgrimage. I borrowed it from old tomes. Seems there's no creature in the realm so foul it can't be cooked up into something delicious.
Think I'll stick to the unfoul ones, thanks.
Oh, where's your sense of adventure, Sid? Honestly, one glance at these recipes, and even you would trade in your sword for a butcher's cleaver. From spit roasts to sweetmeats, this book has them all. What I wouldn't give to bring these recipes to life.
If it's my blessing you're hoping for, then by all means.
Well, I'm no hunter, Sid. The first ton of worm I came across would be the death of me. But you're made of sterner stuff. Would you help me resurrect one of these recipes?
Something tells me you won't be taking no for an answer. Fine. I'll help.
Fantastic! Thank you.
So, dare I ask what's on the menu?
Chance's Stew. It was once a favourite among the gourmands of Oriflamme, if the author is to be believed. Though Molly's never heard of it. The only problem is that while the recipe is extremely detailed in most respects, it's infuriatingly cryptic as to the main ingredient. A beast, no doubt. Most likely something that would make easy work of a simple cook with more broth than brawn, but unwanted violets. I've no idea what they might be.
Does the book say anything else?
Well, only that the sweetest violets sprout atop the bed of roses.
Roses. Rosaria, perhaps? One of the butchers in Martha's Rest might know something. I'll ask next time I'm there.
Typical nobles.
How did we never
There are
hear
new
of
billets
this
being posted
place?
every day.
Clive! Oh, am I glad to see you?
Is something wrong?
It's Blackthorn. He ain't himself. And if I'm honest, he ain't been for a while. That normally it only takes a couple of drinks to perk him back up, but not this time. Something's getting him down. And whatever it is, he ain't telling. It's like he's lost his spark, you know? He's barely got enough fire in his belly to get the ump about stuff. But I'm thinking he might if we both bent his ear, because he respects you, innit? So, what do you say?
Fine. If you think it will help.
Knew you'd understand.
But if he doesn't want to talk, we let him be. He'll open up when he's ready.
All right. Now, he'll only smell a rat if we both turn up at once. So, I'll go first, and you can meet us at the forge. Wait a bit, then head over when you're ready.
Let's go ahead and do this. Let's talk to Vivian.
Back again, Lord Rosfield. I'm touched that you should find me such good company.
It is not your company,
Oh,
your counsel
hush.
that I seek on this occasion.
Ever the charmer. What will it be today, then?
The Iron Kingdom. I need to know what to expect.
You'll soon be setting sail for Drake's Breath, then, I take it. The mother crystal that rises from the boiling sea. There was a time when a true-blooded Rosarian had only to brave the waves to visit it. But then the Ironblood made their move.
One second.
As you know, the Iron Kingdom rules over the islands to the west of Storm. Or rather, its church does. But this is not the pragmatic approach to state religion employed by the Holy Empire to manipulate the masses. No, the Iron Kingdom is the literal embodiment of the crystalline orthodoxy. And so, if one is to understand it, one must start there. As the name implies, the orthodoxy holds the Mother Crystal sacred.
Alright, let's go ahead and go into magic. The art of channeling aether to make one's imagination manifest. This can take the aspect of one of the 8 elements: fire, water, wind, earth, ice, thunder, light, and dark. Or, more rarely, be unexpected. While bearers and dominants can cast spells at will, others require a crystal to do so. Magic is a part of everyday life for the people of Valisthea, making it all but unavailable when they are deprived of its gift. And the Crystalline Orthodox, a religion dedicated to the worship of the Mother Crystals, Its priesthood enjoyed great power, with the patriarch, leader and chief shepherd of the faithful, the most powerful of all. While best known as the state religion of the insular Iron Kingdom, it was once practiced throughout Valisthea. To its believers, the Mother Crystals are literal gods, and the wasteful expenditure of aether through the use of magic is strictly forbidden. As such, those who do use magic, dominance, and bearers both are seen as subhuman abominations. One sec.
Do not take kindly to heathens plundering the objects of their worship for the means to fill washtubs and light lamps with frivolous feats of magic. Indeed, the faithful consider ether a sinful thing, a poison no less. And to them, a dominant is an instrument of evil, albeit one they have proven only too happy to turn against their enemies. Some 80 years ago in Northern Storm, Drake's eye collapsed. Soon after, in pursuit of ether and with the blight at their backs, the Northern Territories descended upon the Grand Duchy of Rosaria. And when the Shields of the Flame marched north to meet them, the Iron Kingdom spied an opportunity. A few short days later, the Crusaders landed on the island of Mount Drastanus, home of Drake's breath, and plucked it from the duchy's grasp. Rosaria tried to reclaim it, of course, but to no avail. I doubt more than a handful of duchy men have set foot on its shores in your lifetime. Nor are they like to again, under the Empire's stewardship, meaning the Iron Blood will keep their island, and with it, the foothold they need to march on mainland soil when next they spy an opportunity. The Mother Crystal is both the object of the Iron Blood's worship and their gateway to the continent, making Drastanus the holiest of holy grounds, from which the Orthodox Crusade shall one day sail forth to claim the remaining Mother Crystals, or die trying.
My father and my grandfather both traded blows with the Iron Blood for control of Drake's breath. Had things unfolded differently at Phoenix Gate, we would have sent our entire fleet against them.
But instead, they sent their fleet against Rosaria, sacked the capital, killed the men, and captured the women, including Jill. I'd say you'd be forgiven for wanting a little revenge, Clive.
My only aim is to destroy the Mother Crystal. But thank you all the same. Not much else to do here. Let's see if Jill's ready.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here for today, guys. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I will see y'all tomorrow with some more of this. Bye, y'all.